Hey guys, it is Arika Misha. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. And as you guys can tell by the title of today's video, don't give in to those voices. Don't give in to them. If it's not the voice of God, and if it's not of God, don't give in to those voices. And today, I'm speaking to you about this from my own personal experience, from my own spiritual walk. I can only give you what I've been going through and what I've been through. So today God wanted me to talk about don't give in to those voices. Okay. Looking at my notes. I can remember all the times when my mind would tell me things. Some good and some not so good. I think we all deal with the voices in our heads that talk to us. But it's what we do with those voices that makes all the difference. We must have the mind of Christ in order to push out those thoughts and voices that are not like God. God gives us strength to have power over our minds, our thoughts, and those voices. If we keep our minds on Christ, we will have the thoughts and the voice of Christ. We keep our mind on Christ and allow God to renew our mind and renew our spirit, we will have a mind like Christ, and we will be able to push out those thoughts that are not of God. And when God was talking to me, of course I was talking to God like I always do. I was talking to God about some things, some thoughts that I had been having, and God was just ministering to me, and God was just telling me to keep my mind on Him, keep my thoughts holy, read my word, focus on God, pray to God. And God was telling me, when I have thoughts that are not like Him, when we have those godly thoughts that are not so godly, and those thoughts that we are ashamed of, God was just sharing them with me to keep my mind on Him, keep my mind on Christ. And God was saying, anytime you have those thoughts that are not like me, God said, just pray and talk to me. Just talk to me. Just talk to me. And I just began to pray. When I have thoughts that are not of God, and we all, nobody is perfect. You can't show me a perfect man. You can show me a perfect God, but you can't show me a perfect man. You can't show me nobody that's perfect. Only God is that. Only God. And we all have those thoughts that are not like, of God. We all have thoughts or have had thoughts, and so no one can say that they never have. But like I said, it is what we do with those thoughts that make the difference. Some people act on those thoughts and some people don't. And that's why we have to have the mind of Christ. We have to have a relationship with God, so that when we're feeling a certain way, we feel those thoughts, we feel a certain way, we can pray and ask God to help us to control those thoughts, to control acting on those thoughts. And that's the truth. When I get those thoughts, when I get weak-minded, I pray and I say, oh God, God, give me strength, God. Give me the right mind. Give me the mind of Christ. And that's what you have to do when you're having thoughts that are not like Christ, when you're having moments that, and thoughts and voices telling you this and telling you that and telling you stuff that that's not right, that that's not of God. You got to pray and ask God to help you with those thoughts, because that's what the enemy wants. The enemy wants our mind. The enemy wants our minds, especially our children. The enemy wants the future, and the children are the future. So the enemy wants the future. That's what he wants. And I tell my girls, I said, anything that's not of God, that's not a good thought, you pray and you ask God to help you with that. You ask God, God, help me, God, help me have the right thoughts. Help me have good thoughts. Let me have pure thoughts. Let me have godly thoughts. Let me have God's thoughts like you, God. And I tell them, read their Bibles, and that's the same thing I do. When my flesh get weak, I pray and I say, God, give me strength. Give me strength so that spirit woman can take over and strengthen the flesh. That's what we have to do. Don't give in to those voices. Don't give in to those voices. The enemy trying to tell you something that is not godly. Don't give in to those voices. Give in to the voice of God, not the voice of the enemy. Because you know what's right. You got common sense to know. We got common sense to know what's right and what's wrong. Ain't nobody got, we know. And I say, God, keep my mind, God. Keep my mind. And I pray, I say, God, cover my mind. Cover my thoughts. Cover my mind, God. Let me have the mind of Christ, God. Guard my spirit. Protect my spirit, God. Keep my spirit strong so that my spirit can keep this mind in you, God. Keep the right mind. But like I said, nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. Do not give in to those voices. And I know God had me talking about this for a reason. God has me talking about it for a reason. Because I myself, like I said to you guys, I have been dealing with some thoughts. And God said, don't give in to those thoughts. Don't give in to those thoughts. God said, no, don't even give in to them. Don't go back from where I brought you from. Don't go back. He said, don't go back. Don't even give in to those thoughts. God said, I have delivered you from those thoughts, honey. I have delivered you from those spirits. Don't give in to those voices. Keep the mind of Christ. Keep the mind of Christ. You may be struggling with something or going through something, but keep the mind of Christ. God said, keep the mind of Christ. And that's what I'm doing. God is so amazing. He can keep your mind at perfect peace. When you want to go back to something, when you want to do something that's not like God, God can give you the strength. You just pray and ask God for the strength. Humble yourself and ask God for the strength like I did. Alright, guys. That's what God wanted me to come and talk about today. Don't give in to those voices. Don't give in to them. Give in to God's voice. This is Arika Misha. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, of course. Make sure you guys go down to the description box. Click on the link to my second channel. Over there, I'm doing hair, makeup, nails. I'm doing all kind of girly stuff. I'm doing DIYs. I'm doing grocery hauls, family vlogs, reviews. I do a lot over there. If you guys are into any of that, make sure you guys click on that link to my second channel, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate your time. Bye, guys.